In this video, I'm going to tell you all the actionable steps needed to be social. Just first to introduce myself, I'm Maxwell and I help prioritize men finding purpose in life. To jump right in, before I give you the actual steps at the end of the video, I'm going to start with my story. When I first started being social, mind you, I was homeschooled for the most of my life and only had a few friends. So when I was 12 and finally joined a theater class, there was something I noticed. I was left out. Of course, people came out of their way to talk to me. Thankfully, they were very nice people. These Midwest people, amazing. But when I saw them in circles, this big huddled group of friends talking and laughing, I realized in that moment that I wanted that I was left out, and I didn't have that in my life. So I asked myself in that very moment, what could I do to become social? It took years. And I'm going to be truthfully honest, most skills, ones that truly need mastery to gain the results, take years. And mind you, I was young, but with these steps, you can actually speed run most of this. Is the first things I thought of when I wanted to become social was, well, I need to get closer. So 12-year-old me would stand in the corner of the group, just kind of over there trying to be social, waiting for someone to talk to me, or I would creep up my chair closer and try to, you know, have general conversation. Oh, how's the weather, this and that. But I came off super awkward. And after years of just progressing that awkwardness and finding things out by going through high school and eventually reading some good books, I was able to figure out some of the biggest problems I had. And if you're anything like me, you probably have these same problems. The two problems I want to talk about in this video are overanalyzing and fear. Now, I was raised in a way that I was kind of taught to sit back and analyze conversation. It's a great social skill, definitely if you're a rational and intellectual individual, but only by dumbing myself down could I actually succeed. I spent less time thinking and more time talking. And with the problem of fear, is I had this idea that being social was scary and alien to me. I didn't have the experience, and also with the fear of perception that you're going to say something in bad light. So to quickly get over these problems and the solutions to them, I want to say with overanalyzing, you're over there and you're taking everything in. This isn't always a problem. You can rework your analyzation into a super skill with social ability. Instead of always thinking about what's going on, where you're going to say, you can sit there and analyze what they're saying so you can jump in and have a better conversation. And with fear is something you have to learn is you have this confidence. Confidence is only being comfortable in a skill by building it up that you have the confidence to do it. So with overanalyzation, I use this word called dumbing down. This is a big one that truly helped me is my brain just goes off. I'm like, oh, he's doing this, I'm doing that, I'm overthinking. If I just dumb down and talk and spew things out, it truly helped me succeed. And with the fear aspect, not only going out of my way to be more social truly helped because then I had enough experience. You do something for so many times, it kind of becomes mundane, but understanding only through fear do you grow. And switching up my perception of fear in a social standing was instead, it's joyful. If you get good at conversation, you can have the best time of your life. You can meet people, tell stories, hear stories, and genuinely have an amazing time. So no longer is social being scary, social is no longer being scary, it's a joyful moment that you can have time learning and expressing. And my main points to truly help you become sociable is just say what you think. Now, with that overanalyzing part, I would always be thinking dude, what's the next thing do I say? Do I do this? Oh, I should have said something. That awkward quietness is going long. Do we just walk off or do we just kind of sit there in quietness? My ADHD kind of would just spaz out. But if you dumb yourself down, like I said, is you realize people just speak. People speak their mind. I took a road trip to a city not too long ago, and I was able to analyze my friends and see how they react in a social situation. And the biggest things that they did is they would just speak. So we would be driving and we see a car with flashy rims. They would say, "Oh, look at that car with flashy rims. Oh, look at that BMW M3. Oh, look at that red car." And then we could have a conversation. "Oh, yeah, red cars, man. I really like blue cars." You just interject with something. Another good example that I have for you, and this comes to with like dating and cold approaching, is think about when you're at the gym or at the store and you see a broad, like a really 10 out of 10 girl walk by. The first thought might be like, "Oh, dude, she's so hot. I'm fucking scared." But the other thought, if you're a little bit more of a man, is, "Dude, I want to go talk to her. I need to go get her number." Before you overanalyze and overthink and talk yourself out of it, the initial thought is there. Just like in any conversation, you walk past someone and you think, "Oh, I should have probably said hi." So you start to train yourself, kind of dumb yourself down so you're not overthinking, and just start projecting your inner thoughts outwards. That all is conversation, is just projecting your inward outwards. So if you see someone, make eye contact and smile and you say hi. "Oh, you were thinking about that lady's dress or that guy's shoes?" You just jump in there and you start conversation with the most stupid, dumb things ever. And you might think it's stupid, but you'll come off as a Chad, a guy who can have conversation about anything. Now, holding on to that conversation is another thing, but that's when you just learn to talk about nothing and spew nonsense. But another major point, I have a few more actual steps to actually help you overload this social skill that you can work on. But this was another big problem with me, was don't ever perceive what you're going to say in negative light. It comes with the overthinking, is you think, "Well, I should have said something." Or maybe something I was going to say ended up being weird or anxious or nervous. With perception, because if you become self-aware, like this woke third eye individual, you will go to the store and realize, dude, everyone's insecure. Everyone's anxious. Everyone's nervous. You look it in their eyes and you truly look and see their inward thoughts on how they hold themselves. And you realize almost everyone else is socially anxious just like you. So you have to perceive what you're going to say is going to be in good light. If you've ever had someone come up to you and talk, you realize half the time you always, not even half the time, 99% of the time you react with good light, unless if it's truly an insult and they're coming out of their way to bash you. They'll say hi or make little conversation at the grocery store and you always react politely. You have to perceive that everyone's going to react politely and happy to have you interject into their life. You're no longer cold approaching a girl. You're going up there to say how beautiful and how nice she is. You're only giving compliments to people. You're not going out there to bash them, so why should you be scared and have the perception of what you're going to say is anxious and nervous? And if you truly believe what you're saying is anxious and nervous, then it's going to come off like that. If you have the mindset switch of, "Oh, I'm going off to go say nice things," it's going to come off nice. So don't have the perception of ruining yourself, but instead change that up and perceive what you're going to say is nice. Now, for the bonus tips, because the first steps that I had for you was really getting rid of that fear of anxiety and just overthinking, is some actual tips to improve how you are in conversation and social skills. And the first one I have for you, which I got from a book, which is probably behind me somewhere. Here goes everything. Is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And in that book, he talks about how to be a great social person. And the number one tip that I really got from that book is to listen. Something you realize when you pick up game when talking to girls is it's not, "Oh, I'm just talking about myself, boasting about myself," is you're asking questions to learn more about them so you can sit back and just listen and allow people to do more of the talking. Because everyone, and I mean everyone, even you, loves to talk. They just love to talk. So when you get a person that can listen, you love that person and you think it's just an amazing conversation because you're allowed to just spew on forever. So you, as an individual, sure can make conversation, but a bonus tip is just to sit back and truly let them talk. Make some conversation and ask them why and what's that, blah, blah, blah. But just let them go on and be a good listener. Another thing that I actually got from the book, now that I think about it, and I've read some studies on, is just to smile. We're caught up in this gloomy light of like, dude, we're so down, I can't be social, blah, blah, blah. It's because you got a frown on your face. It's actually proven. Now, I don't got the articles or can cite it, but just trust me right now with all your heart, is smiling actually makes everything better. Not only when you smile do you feel better, but people are going to perceive you as less as a weirdo, and they're going to be willing to accept you into their life when you want to make that conversation. So put a goddamn smile on your face and start acting happy. And just one last thing is I'm going to say, constantly be lubed. Now, when I mean lubed, not anything perverse, but the idea of consistently progressing this skill is if you want to go make conversation, the first conversation of the day is going to be groggy and awkward. You go say hello to 5 people, the 6th person that you talk to, it's going to go flawless. So if you actually do want to plan to go talk to girls, is talk to everyone in the area, like let's say the gym. You talk to all your friends, 5, 10 people, and then you're just flowing with this energy. You're all amped up because you're staying socially lubed, that the next conversation is just gonna come so easily because you're constantly using this skill and it's bettering itself. And that in the homework that I have for you today, before you like and subscribe, comment down below, is to say hello to one person every single day. Every single day. Just say hello. Next week, 2 people every single day. Next week, after it's 3, then 4, then 5, then it becomes such a skill that you're going around and talking to everyone, and you're the guy people look up to. And when you realize, when you become a social individual, people just flow into your life because of the magnitude that you have. Now I'm Maxwell. Like I said, I appreciate if you comment down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.